Hi class, this is my last video to you. I'm going to do 4 types of problems. And these problems are ones that came off of test 2 and test 3 that some more than enough people had trouble with. So, the first one is the at least one principle. Okay. At least one principle, you take the negation of it. Okay. We want to know if we're going to have at least one. So what we do is we negate it, and you can see I've started my tree. I would have to make 50 branches, okay? But you can see no flood, no flood, no flood. That's the only one that has no flood. And it is going to continue to be the only one that has no flood for all of that. Okay? So we don't want to do it out any further. So 1 minus no flood raised to the time. Well, the flood happens in 1 out of 50 years. So no flood would be 49 out of 50 years, right? Because it has to add up to 1. 1 plus 49 is 50. So this would be 1 minus 49 over 50 to the time frame, which is 10 years. Now you know, I hope, that this has to be in parentheses, okay? So 1 minus 49 out of 50, and I've worked it out for you already, is 0.1829. And that's it, okay? And probabilities are either decimals or fractions. Okay, for this one, another one, probability of at least one king in 7 draws from a deck. Well, at least one king. How many kings are in a deck? 4 out of 52. So 1 minus no kings to the 7, okay, would be 1 minus, this is kings, so no kings would be 48 out of 52, in parentheses, to the 7, okay? You can do that one for yourself. The answer is 0.429. Okay? Don't forget, this entire test is multiple choice. The second problem that was commonly missed on test 2 was the license plate problem. And this was the very last thing we did in the classroom. So it was a long time ago. All right, so we want to know how many license plates can you make with 3 letters followed by 2 numbers. The first letter can't be an O, and the first number can't be a 0, and there's no repeats. Okay, so this is no O, and this is no 0. Okay, so no O. You can have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's 25 numbers. Okay, this is the problem number. Okay, so let's just pretend that you put an A here. Just pretend. Then this one can be anything that is not a repetition of the first. So now I can have an O, because I have not used it, but I can't have an A. Pretend. How many letters is that? Well, that's B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, blah, 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 through Z. That is 25 letters again. So maybe you use the O. So here's the O. So now we can't have an A or an O. How many letters is that? That's 24. So you see, there's no 26 in here at all. Okay, here, You can't have a 0, but you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 numbers. So now you can't have whatever you did here, but you can have a 0. But whatever you put here, you can't have. Pretend you put a 1. So now you can't have a 1, but you can have the 0. So 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is 9, okay? And you know that you multiply all those numbers. The next problem that was commonly missed is a standard deviation problem from chapter 6, okay? And as soon as I point this out, you're going to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed that. Okay, this particular problem said, what percentage is above 1.3? Well, 1.3 is not one of your raw data, so forth, okay? There could be a set of raw data here, it doesn't matter. But 1.3, oh, I have to go into my chart, which I will furnish for you on the test. You know, the long standard deviation chart. And it turns out that 1.3 is in the chart, and that is 90.32%. Okay? But the question is, what does that 90.32 represent? Everything that comes out of the chart goes to the left. I asked you, what is above 1.3, a z-score? So that means that I don't want this, I want everything above. So you had to go 100 minus. The key word is above or more than that you have to use. So this is 9.68%. And a lot of people gave me the 90.32 just because they did not read the problem. So look for that keyword. Okay, the second problem in standard deviation that people missed was when it said, how many? Okay, I'll just use this problem again. How many people above 1.3 scored more than whatever, okay? If 50 people took the test, how many scored above if 50 took the test? Well, in this one, a lot of people gave me 9.68%. That's not the question. The question is not what percentage, but how many people. So for this one, I would turn my 9.68 into a decimal and multiply it by 50 people. And that would give me my answer. And you can do that for yourself, okay? It's just, be sure to answer the question. Okay, the last question was on a quiz and the test. It's obviously one of the harder problems. It's the odds for or against drawing a king from in one draw from a standard deck of cards. This is the formula for, because probability of the event happening is on the top. The odds against is just the upside down of that, probability of the event not happening over probability of the event happening. Okay, it's very simple. All right, the odds for drawing a king. Well, the probability of drawing a king. Probability, there are 4 kings in your deck, and there's 52 cards. Okay, what's the probability of not, remember that, drawing a king? Well, what is not a king in the deck? That's 48 out of 52. So now I put it into my formula. 4 over 52, that's the probability of the event happening, divided by the probability of the event not happening. Well, not drawing a king is 48 out of 52. Okay? And we talked about this. If the denominators for both parts are the same, we just cut them, and then we collapse. 4 out of 48. You may reduce that if you like. 1 out of 12. Your choice, okay? So then to write it in odds notation, it's 4 to 48, or you could say 1 to 12. Okay? The most common mistake I got was to tell me that the answer was 4 out of 52. I don't know why. Don't do that. Okay? That's it. If you have any questions, email them to me, or text them, or call me. Do something. You have quiz 11. I uploaded it last night. I will upload your final exam on Monday morning, okay? The deadline for quiz 11 is very explicit on your quiz because I want to get the answers out, okay? I will furnish you several pieces of information for your final exam, but it will not include any formulas. You are on your own for formulas. If I were you, I would write down all the formulas with little notes just so you don't have to go pouring through your book or your tests or your quizzes. Okay, if you know what you want, it's nice to look on one sheet for a formula. I wish you a lot of luck, and I hope you do really well in your final, and it's coming Monday morning. Bye-bye.